like to call absolutely filthy driving from a certain Yuki Tsunoda. Now, Lando Norris pitted early because he had to beat the undercut from, it was Charles Leclerc and George Russell had pitted earlier, and they weren't really that far behind when they pitted. So Lando Norris comes out and he had to pass quite a few cars up to Yuki Tsunoda, who was told, do what you can to hold him up, the real villain of the piece. And this is basically what Yuki Tsunoda, he weaved, and this Lando Norris goes for it, and Yuki Tsunoda pretty much squeezed him right off the track. And it made me absolutely very, very cross when you see here. Again, there we go. Look, he's weaving. Look how much Yuki Tsunoda is weaving. Yeah, he's had more than his one move. And he carries on. Yep, and Lando Norris passed off the track, which was obviously, understandably, quite controversial. Excuse me. And I thought at the time, Lando Norris is potentially going to get a penalty. We were all worried. Yuki Tsunoda, under investigation, came up. Then Lando Norris, under investigation. And I was like, are they going to give him a penalty? Surely they're going to give him a penalty. I mean, look at it. It's just so well. Look how much Yuki Tsunoda is weaving. And then he weaves again. Look, moves as Lando moves. Right at that moment, he moves just as Lando. Again, look, are you ready? Yeah, he moves there. It's absolutely unforgivable. What a filthy piece of driving by someone I respected and I thought was a lot better. Now, yeah, you can blame Red Bull, but at the saying hold him up, encouraging him to hold him up. But at the end of the day, it was Yuki Tsunoda at the wheel. It wasn't anyone at Red Bull at the wheel. Sergio Perez did it much better. Was that sportsmanship from Perez? You can make an argument either way. This definitely wasn't. It was almost like an assassin absolutely going from it. It was just, made me really cross. Here we go again. So this is Lando Norris. As you can see, he's going. Yuki Tsunoda is weaving, weaving to the right, then weaving to the right, then weaving to the left. And then Lando Norris is like, okay, fair enough. I'm going to think he's going to weave to the right because he's just going to the right now. So Lando's thinking, I'm going to go for it. And as he does, Yuki Tsunoda obviously sees in the mirrors, closes the door. Lando's like, oh my God. And he did have all four of his tyres off, and he carries on. Much to some people, and yeah, there we go. And here it is again. So Lando Norris is like, yep, okay. And then he's weaving. And here, he weaving, and he just stops weaving. And at this point, Lando's thinking, okay, he's going to weave again, so I'm going to go on the inside. But then Yuki sees him. You can see him looking in the mirrors, and he's like, no. And there's Lando. Look, there he is. And at this point, Lando is absolutely all four wheels off. Guaranteed. But he's been pushed, I think, off the circuit. He decided on the move. It's not quite, it's almost like moving under braking, but he's moving under passing. It was absolutely unforgivable. Yeah. And I mean, there it is. Lando's completely off. Absolutely, he is. Hold my hands up. Not much I can do about it. And this was the FIA's decision in relation to car number 4. Car number 4, Lando Norris and the McLaren Formula 1 team, left the track, allegedly gaining an advantage. One of the few times I've actually agreed with the stewards. The stewards are reviewing. The car 4 overtook car 22, Yuki Tsunoda. Car 4, Lando Norris, off track. However, this occurred because car 22 made multiple moves defending his position against car 4. Had car 22 not made those moves, car 4 would have overtaken it without going off track, but moved off to avoid contact with car 22. Exactly what happened. Further, the driving standards guidance provide that if a car is forced off, which was effectively what occurred here, it is not considered to have exceeded track limits, whilst technically the overtake took place off track. We determined in view of the above to take no further action. This, which is absolutely good. And Yuki Tsunoda did end up getting a penalty, didn't he? Can I just retry that? Is that going to turn up? No. Yuki Tsunoda did end up getting the penalty because essentially, as you see here, he forced a driver off the track. Absolutely filthy driving. Yeah, definitely in my massive bad books, you are Yuki Tsunoda.